The second policy driver, so the first policy driver was this equity, how important equity has been and investing in equity has been. The second one is the what I call less is more, or we can also call this as a smart allocation of resources, time and money and other human resources in education. Because I think that here Finland is again very different to many and most of the countries. Let's look at some of the typical indicators in our school systems when we are looking at how we are doing things. The first one of them is how much our teachers are teaching. It's a critical thing how much we are insisting and requiring that our teachers has to teach. How many of you are teaching in school at the moment? Okay, so you all know what I'm talking about. Yeah? So if you have to teach from morning until the evening, there's not much energy left for anything else. So this is how it looks like internationally, and this is, you don't need to be able to read all these things, but if you look at these two blue bars there, they indicate the annual average teaching time in hours every year in England and in Finland, okay? In the middle school. So we are looking at the grades 7, 8, 9 typically, okay? So this means that each day, the Finnish teachers on average have about 60 minutes less teaching time in their schools compared to teachers here in England, and about 120 minutes less than in the United States. Okay? So the question is that what do teachers do when they have this time? And in Finland it has been necessary to have teachers with the lower teaching load because they have many other responsibilities. Unlike many other countries, here are some of those. This is a typical picture that you can see in many Finnish schools. And these people are probably working on their school curriculum because they are responsible for their own school curriculum planning. So the school has to design the entire curriculum for the school. Or they may be working on talking about the students' assessments and reporting because we don't have standardized national tests that will inform schools and students how they are doing. This is a teacher's responsibility. And it's always a kind of a collective responsibility that the teachers are communicating how students are doing. So these teachers may be talking about this. They are also in charge of their own school improvement, school development, which is again a collective activity. And then the school welfare issues are also a responsibility of every single teacher. So they need to have time to do these things, not be done. Our students have also less classroom time than many other countries. So it's not only teachers that are teaching less, but also students that are spending less time in the classroom. This is just one snapshot from the European Union data, how it informs the intended instruction time in grades 1 to 9 in this case Finland, UK and Luxembourg. Of course you can take all the European Union countries and you get a more complicated picture. But let's just look at these things where you see that the English students have more instruction time and you start your schooling when you're 5. In Finland it's 7. So there's actually much more instruction time for English pupils and children compared to Finns. Let's put here the OECD last PISA literacy results, and it's a kind of a striking image, right? This indicates that the less instruction, the less time we insist that children spend in the classroom, better they learn, right? It doesn't make any sense, but you know this is how it seems to be. If we take all the OECD countries, all the EU countries, of course the correlation is not so clear. But in many countries it seems to be like this, that the more time children spend in the school, less they will learn. And that's why I call this a less is more idea. So that's why, you know, we also have probably less homework than many other countries. This doesn't mean that we wouldn't have homework at all, but the homework policies are much more softer in Finland. Many of our elementary schools are actually having a policy that they don't insist that the children will do a regular homework every day in school. At home, they try to do everything that they need to do in a school. That's why our kids have more time to play. And I think, by the way, that if you have read the Gladwell's Outliers, he has this rule of 10,000 hours. Do you know that? He's basically saying that if you want to be good in anything at all, you have to practice 10,000 hours, just like Beatles did and many others. That you have to do, or golf, if you play golf, you have to play golf 10,000 hours before you can say that I'm really, really good. But it also applies to children. I think that if children are very good in what they do, and children's job is play, okay? So if we want our kids to be very good in play, use their imagination and understand the power of their imagination, they have to practice play 10,000 hours. Yeah, and it means 7 to 9 years of practice every day. So if we don't allow them practice how to play, they will never learn how to do these things, and that's why we try to keep children away from institutions as long as we can, and that's why they go to school when they are 7.